Hi students, welcome to my channel. Today I will be discussing 11th class biology digestion and absorption chapter. In this, the first topic, digestive system. So dear students, let's start. Before entering into the actual details of this topic, whatever you have learnt in earlier classes, okay, just some basic concepts in connection to this topic, let's discuss. So dear students, food is one of the basic requirement to all living organisms. Okay, this is a basic requirement because it provides us energy, it provides us organic materials. Without energy, organism cannot perform any activity. Without organic materials or the raw materials, growth is difficult. Okay, formation of new cells is difficult. Repairing process is difficult. So dear students, obviously food is a basic requirement of all living organisms. Okay, now in this food there are different types of components. So let's discuss them. Okay, so here carbohydrates, proteins, fats, vitamins, minerals, water. These are the different components in food. Dear students, among all these different components, some of the components are required in large amounts. Okay, major components, they are called major components. Okay, so dear students, major components are carbohydrates, proteins and fats. These are the major components. Okay, now some of the components are required in small amounts, like vitamins and minerals are required in small amounts. Okay, so dear students, the importance of these nutrients you have already learnt in lower classes, like carbohydrates provide us energy, proteins help in growth and development, fats provide us more energy. Okay, vitamins and minerals are protective foods. Dear students, water has lot of importance in metabolic processes. Okay, and also water prevents dehydration of the body. Water prevents dehydration of the body. So this is how each and every component in the food is very much important for living organism. Now let's proceed with one important word here. Okay, so dear students, that important word, that is digestion. Okay, so dear students, digestion, this word, okay, let's discuss in detail. Okay, the name of the chapter is digestion and absorption. So what is this digestion? Very simple word although, but let's discuss. Okay, so breakdown of complex food materials into simple observable units is called digestion. Dear students, the components which are present in our food materials, they are not easily observed, they are not readily utilized by our body. Okay, because they are, many of them are complex molecules. Okay, they have to be broken down into simpler observable units, then only they are utilized in our body. Okay, so dear students, this is what we call digestion. Okay, so breakdown of complex food materials into simple observable units, okay, by mechanical and biochemical methods. Okay, so dear students, biochemical methods involve enzymes. Okay, so this is very important concept, we will discuss in detail in the coming topics. Okay, so enzymes are biocatalysts. Okay, enzymes catalyze biochemical reactions in the living organisms. Okay, mostly they are proteinaceous. Okay, so dear students, now let's enter into the actual topic of this chapter. Dear students, human digestive system. Let's start. Okay, The human digestive system consists of alimentary canal and associated glands. Okay. Now we will discuss in detail about these two parts of human digestive system. So dear students, first of all, let's discuss about human alimentary canal. Dear students, alimentary canal begins with an anterior opening, that is mouth. Okay. And it opens out posteriorly, okay, now through anus, okay, through anus. So dear students, there are two openings in alimentary canal. In the anterior part, the opening is called mouth. In the posterior part, the opening is called anus. So two openings in human alimentary canal, important, okay, now remember. Dear students, the mouth leads to buccal cavity, okay, now it is also called oral cavity, okay, now don't get confused, the meaning is same, okay. Now inside oral cavity we find a number of teeth and a muscular tongue, okay. If you stand in front of a mirror, if you open your mouth, you will find number of teeth and you will find a muscular organ, tongue. So dear students, here each teeth is embedded, okay, now in a bony socket of jawbone, okay. This is what we call thecodont, very important word, okay. Thecodont is nothing but tooth is embedded in the socket of jawbone, okay, now. So you remember this is one important word, okay, now. So tooth is embedded in the socket of jawbone. So this type of arrangement is called thecodont condition, okay. Now majority of mammals, dear students, mammals are those animals which have mammary glands, okay, now. So dear students, milk producing glands, mammary glands are present in these animals. So majority of mammals, including human being, forms two sets of teeth, okay, now two sets of teeth are formed during lifetime, okay, now. One of the set is a temporary milk or deciduous teeth, temporary milk or deciduous teeth. They are replaced by a set of permanent or adult teeth, okay, now. So as teeth are formed twice, as there are two sets of teeth in humans, the condition is called diphyodont. So dear student, diphyodont is one of the very important word, okay. So a hint for you, di means two. So there are two sets of teeth, okay, now temporary teeth and permanent teeth. Fine, let's proceed with the one more important word, that is heterodont. Dear students, hetero means different. There are different types of teeth in humans, okay, now. Here an adult human has 32 permanent teeth, okay, and these 32 teeth are of not same type, they are of 4 different types, okay, now. So because there are 4 different types of teeth present, okay, now. So in humans, this condition is called heterodont condition, and these 4 different types of teeth are incisors, canines, premolars and molars, okay. So these are the 4 different types of teeth, okay. This is heterodont. Now one more important concept, dear student, dental formula. So this is very important question for your exams, okay, now. In humans, dental formula is 2123 by 2123, okay, now. So this is the dental formula in humans. Dear students, this is all about the arrangement of teeth in the upper half jaw and the lower half jaw, okay, now. Dental formula explains arrangement of teeth in upper half jaw and lower half jaw, okay, now. So this arrangement of teeth in each half of the upper and lower jaw in the order incisors, canines, premolars, molars. Okay, this is represented by dental formula, and this is 2123 by 2123. Okay, so dear students, one more very important word here that you should not forget. Okay, na, enamel. Okay, the hard chewing surface of the teeth made up of enamel helps in mastication of the food. Okay, so dear students, when food is inside the oral cavity, mastication of the food occurs. Okay, na, this is because of the functioning of teeth and tongue. Okay, na, so mastication of the food occurs. Okay, na, one of the very important step in the digestion process. Okay, dear students, now tongue we discussed, this is a muscular organ in the oral cavity. Tongue is a freely movable muscular organ attached to the floor of the oral cavity. Okay, na? So tongue is attached to the floor of the oral cavity, and dear students, with the help of this structure, okay, this is called frenulum. Okay, na? So dear students, okay, tongue is attached to the floor of the oral cavity with frenulum. Okay, na? So remember, very important word. Okay, now the upper surface of tongue has small projections. Okay, the upper surface of tongue has small projections. These small projections are called papillae, and some of them they have, okay, na, taste buds. So dear students, you have learnt in lower classes what are the different types of taste. Okay, na, there are 4 different types of tastes. Okay, na, sweet, salt, sour, bitter. Okay, na. So dear students, so taste buds are present on papillae, which are present on the surface of the tongue. Okay, so dear students, now let's proceed with the continuation. After this, let's once check the diagram of human digestive system. As we discussed, human alimentary canal has 2 openings. In the anterior part, the opening is called mouth. This is anterior opening. And in the posterior region, the opening is called anus. Okay, na? So dear students, posterior opening is anus. Okay, na? So this is the posterior opening. Okay, na? So 2 openings in human alimentary canal. Okay, so dear students, okay, you will find here mouth. After that, there will be oral cavity. Okay, then pharynx, then esophagus, then comes stomach, after that small intestine, large intestine, finally the posterior opening, anus. Okay, now let's discuss about these structures one by one. So dear students, first of all, the oral cavity leads into a short pharynx. Oral cavity leads into a short pharynx which serves as a common passage for food and air. So remember, important question. So dear students, pharynx is a common passage for both food as well as air. Actually, esophagus, okay, and the trachea both open into the pharynx. Okay, esophagus is a food pipe. Okay, now trachea is a windpipe. So both these structures, esophagus and trachea, open into the pharynx. Okay, now so obviously pharynx is a common passage for both food and air. Now after this, the one more important aspect, dear student, very important question for your exams is about epiglottis. Okay, let's discuss what is this. A cartilaginous flap. Okay, now cartilaginous flap, it is called epiglottis, prevents the entry of food into the glottis. Okay, now this is preventing the entry of food. Okay, now it is preventing the entry of food into the glottis. Glottis is a small slit or opening in the trachea, that is windpipe. So dear students, during swallowing, okay, now food should not enter into trachea. It should pass through esophagus. Okay, na? In normal condition that happens. So dear students, now the role of this epiglottis is it is preventing the entry of food into the trachea. Okay, now it is covering the glottis. Okay, epi means upon, glottis is the opening of the trachea. So dear students, it is present upon glottis. So obviously that is the meaning. Okay, now so very important question, what is the role of epiglottis? It prevents the entry of food into the trachea during swallowing. Now let's proceed. Dear students, esophagus is a thin long tube which extends posteriorly, passing through the neck, thorax and diaphragm. Okay, now so dear students, you remember very important statement, okay, now for your exams. The esophagus is a thin long tube which extends posteriorly, okay, now passing through neck, thorax and diaphragm, and leads to a J-shaped bag-like structure. It is called stomach. Okay, now so very important question, dear student. What is the shape of the stomach? J-shaped. Okay, now so esophagus opens into J-shaped bag-like structure called stomach. If you see in this diagram, dear students, you will understand better once look at this diagram. Okay, now so here this is esophagus, this is esophagus. Now this esophagus is entering into stomach. Dear students, you can see this is stomach, this is esophagus. Esophagus is opening into stomach. So dear students, here is very important concept that you should not forget. Okay, a muscular sphincter. Okay, now it is called gastroesophageal sphincter, regulates the opening of esophagus into stomach. Okay, so a muscular sphincter called gastroesophageal sphincter regulates the opening of esophagus into the stomach. Okay, dear students, again if you look this diagram, you will understand better. You look this at this point. Okay, now so esophagus is opening into stomach. Okay, so here a sphincter is present, gastroesophageal sphincter. Okay, now so remember very important concept. Okay, sphincter regulates the opening of esophagus into the stomach. Okay, dear students, the stomach is located in the upper left portion. Okay, now stomach is located in the upper left portion of the abdominal cavity, and stomach has three regions. Okay, now three major parts. Stomach has three major parts. The first part is a cardiac portion. Okay, now first part is a cardiac portion into which the esophagus opens. The second part is called fundic region. Okay, now and the third is a pyloric portion which opens into the first part of the small intestine. Dear students, you can look here once again the diagram. Okay, so this starting part cardiac. Okay, now and this last part is pyloric, and this is a fundus. So three major parts. Okay, now three major parts are, okay, first one is cardiac stomach, second is fundic region, third is pyloric portion. Okay, so dear students, this pyloric portion, okay, now is the posterior part of the stomach. Okay, now this one will open into small intestine. Okay, now dear students, small intestine has three regions. Again, small intestine has three regions, and these three regions are C-shaped duodenum. Okay, now very important, C-shaped duodenum, then a long coiled middle portion called jejunum, and highly coiled ileum. Okay, so these are the three parts: duodenum, jejunum, ileum. Okay, dear students, the opening of the stomach into duodenum is guarded by pyloric sphincter. Again, one very important word, dear students, the very important word, that is pyloric sphincter. Okay, now earlier we discussed here we find gastroesophageal sphincter. Okay, now in this region one more sphincter is present, that is called pyloric sphincter. Okay, so dear students, okay, it regulates the entry of food from stomach into small intestine. Okay, so dear students, now let's proceed with the continuation. Okay, now ileum, the last part of the small intestine, opens into large intestine. Okay, and large intestine consists of three parts. One is cecum, second is colon, okay, and the third is rectum. So dear students, cecum, colon, rectum, these are the three parts in large intestine. Okay, cecum, very important dear students, two important statements I am going to discuss now. Okay, cecum is a small blind sac which hosts some symbiotic microbes. Okay, so dear students, symbiosis is one important word you might have learnt in lower classes. Okay, symbiosis is nothing but two organisms live together and they are mutually benefited. Okay, symbiosis. Okay, two organisms live together and they are mutually benefited. That process is called, that mechanism is called symbiosis. Okay, so dear students, here not only this, a narrow finger like tubular projection, the vermiform appendix, it is a vestigial organ in humans. It is arising from the cecum. Okay, so dear students, two important statements. One is cecum is a small blind sac which hosts some symbiotic microbes. Second important statement is a narrow finger like tubular projection, vermiform appendix, which is a vestigial organ in humans, arises from the cecum. Okay, very important. Now the cecum opens into the colon. It is a second part of the large intestine. Dear student, colon is divided into three parts: an ascending colon, a transverse colon, and a descending colon. Okay, so these are the three parts: ascending colon, transverse colon, descending colon. Okay, now descending part opens into the rectum, which opens out through the anus. So dear students, we already discussed in the beginning. Okay, the last part or the posterior part of the alimentary canal is anus. Okay, so dear students, this is all about today's topic. Other topic I will continue in the next session. Okay, so thank you all for watching this video.